A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us on this week's edition of the program. We remain your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Lucy Lugbe. On our lineup this week, first we join Faith and our guest, Mr. Shola Tinubu, Managing Director, Skip Nigeria & Co. Limited, on the CEO Rendezvous, where they discussed insurance industry capacity and aviation insurance matters arising. Speaking during the interview, Mr. Tinubu said that it is ironic that the aviation sector that has been the biggest beneficiary of the local content law is now crying wolf. Take a listen.
It is unimaginable that the very industry that from a very long time ago have been the beneficiary of local content, as the airline industry, are the very ones that don't want to carry others along. Let me tell you, for all these things that they are talking about the insurance industry, they're saying it's making their product more expensive, etc. Do you know that you could have allowed British Airways and KLM to come and run domestic airlines, but they are protected by local content.
On this edition also, we will bring you highlights from the 6th Business Today conference that was held recently under the theme Prioritizing Excellent Customer Services in Insurance and Pension Businesses at Radisson Blu Hotel, Ikeja. Guest speaker was Dr. Biodun Adedipe. Let's check out some excerpts from the event.
As the world changes, the way we work changes too. As your company grows, customer support inquiry grows along with it. Customers need to know that accessing their retirement benefit will not be an issue when they retire. Even as policyholder, we appreciate quick and prompt response to claim lodgements. Hence, we have assembled experienced human capital to do justice to the theme of today's conference.
We need to build a repeated business and even customer loyalty around our customers and make them king always, because we're in business because of them. Without them, we will not be in business. I say that oftentimes to myself and to my team when it comes to customer experience, because without them, we cannot even earn salaries. It's what we generate from our customer that makes the business.
You want to succeed in business? 3 things you must do on an ongoing basis. Number 1 is to get customers. We call it win customers. Number 2, you must also keep the customers. And it is very simple. It is more expensive to win a customer than to keep an existing customer. In fact, surveys conducted brought it out at a ratio of 1 to 5. That means if it costs me 1 naira to keep an existing customer, it will probably cost me 5 times that to win a new customer. Just think about it.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on the program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us. A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the CEO Rendezvous. Today I have the honor and privilege to be speaking. Well, he's a friend of the house, but due to COVID, we've not seen him or chatted with him for some time. Mr. Shola Tinubu, a past president of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, and he's the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Skip Nigeria & Co. Limited, the biggest insurance broking house in Nigeria. Thank you so very much, sir, for joining us on the program.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Today on set, we'll be looking at a very controversial issue right now in some quarters. The insurance industry capacity, aviation insurance matters arising. Okay, sir. Let me start by quoting the statement of the chairman of Airpeace recently at a fora when he said that the entire insurance industry in Nigeria put together does not have the capacity to underwrite one single aircraft. And as a result of that, indigenous carriers such as his and others are having to pay high premium to the Lloyds of this world. But I just want you to put it in perspective for us. Is that the true or correct picture of the insurance industry as it relates to aviation insurance?
I think I found the statement quite disingenuous in the sense that if you understand insurance and you understand that insurance is about the spread of risk, then you would understand that even the largest insurance companies in the world will still take on risks upfront and what we call reinsure. So you have insurance companies in America who would want to insure aircraft, and they are still reinsuring them at the Lloyd's in London. Why? Is it that they don't have capital? Is it that they don't have the wherewithal and all of that? But essentially, spread of risk is a fundamental principle of insurance and how you manage insurance. Also, what we call reinsurance is also a capital addition to an insurance entity. So if an insurance entity has an amount of capital, his reinsurance actually adds more capital for the company to be able to do business. Now, regarding the facts of the case, if you look at the Nigerian market right now, in terms of the capacity that they have and their capacities in terms of their companies and their treaties will be something in the region of about $400 million. Now, $400 million, there are very few aircrafts that are even up to that. In fact, ever, if there is any that isn't up to that. But then you then have the issue of liability as well. So you have to cover the hull and you have to cover the liability. But the fact is that if you place the business in the Nigerian market has a wherewithal to be able to bring all the partners to the table to be able to deliver the product. If you take insurance out of it and use an example of manufacturing of soap. In the manufacturing of soap in Nigeria, even by say Unilever or any of this, all the raw materials that they use, are they all local? The machines that they use, are they all manufactured in Nigeria? So the point is that even if you have someone that is delivering a service here, as long as he's in control and he takes responsibility for the delivery, how much of that is now done, by seeking support, international support, is obviously a different matter. So companies in America find out the parts that they deliver, the parts of their products are done in China, are done in all sorts of places. So in this day and age, you don't come in and just think that in one place you'll be able to, you just be able to manufacture or deliver a service 100%. The world has gone far beyond that. In fact, although the world is now trying to move back to seeing whether you could actually localize a whole lot of stuff they have in your distribution chain, but that is the truth of the matter. Now, let's look at the airline industry more specifically. It is unimaginable that the very industry that from a very long time ago have been the beneficiary of local content, as the airline industry, are the very ones that don't want to carry others along. Let me tell you, for all these things that they are talking about the insurance industry, they're saying it's making their product more expensive, etc. Do you know that you could have allowed British Airways and KLM to come and run domestic airlines? But they are protected by local content.
Yes.
They don't allow them to just come in here, set up and run there. But guess what? If you allow them, everybody will trust them more. Everybody will think that their safety records are better. People will think that their quality is better.
Service.
And it is quite possible that their cost or their price may even be cheaper for the end consumer. But that's immaterial to this country. We must at least have our own domestic airlines, and we protect them. One of the ways we also protect them is limit the number of airports that many of these international airlines can arrive in, because that also takes away, traffic from local airlines. All that is done to protect these domestic airlines. Then when it's their own turn in running their business to also localize some of the things that they do, that the first to screen, no, they'd rather go and buy it themselves in London, buy it themselves in UK, buy it themselves and cut out, the local entities in those places. It's just not right. I say this because these issues have been raised some time before, and some of them are just folklore. You hear about how it is so expensive, but when we ask them, the airline operators of Nigeria, AON, to bring out facts so that we can look at it, and we did this at the NCRIB. I was deputy president at the time, and we went for meetings. National Insurance Commission was involved. They called us at the NCRIB, and we went to the AON's president's office, and we met with them. And they have not been able to, since that time, even put facts on the table. You can't continue to, put down an industry based on some things that may or may not have happened to some of your own members, but you have not put it on the table for anybody to examine and correct if there's anything to be corrected.
Okay, Mr. Tinubu, sorry to cut into your thoughts. Are you saying is it until, because as you said, this has been a recurring issue back and forth, they don't have capacity and all of that. Are you saying that for the insurance industry, is it until operators in the aviation sector present their facts before you guys that you will listen to some of the complaints that they have?
Well, not just that they have to come and present. We even went to them, we went to their offices to listen to them. So we're not saying we're sitting back to wait. But we're saying that even when we went, you were telling us, oh, there's some people who had very expensive insurances. We said, please, can you then bring that out so we can validate it? But you also have to realize that, just to buy meat pie, you can have a variance of buying a 5,000 naira meat pie from here to a 1,000 naira meat pie. It depends on your vendor, the quality, what exactly did you go and buy, or whether you actually, did not shop properly. So, the regulator of the insurance industry was involved, the Insurance Brokers Association was involved, the NIA is sitting right there. I'm saying, look, let's know what you're talking about, and we'll be able to tell you whether, oh, yes, you've gotten a good price, you haven't gotten a good price, there's a problem. They talk about the fact that because they bring it into Nigeria, and there's some added cost of doing that, then that is the challenge. But the added cost we're talking about, sometimes it's just maybe some 15%, maybe it's 20%, and the like. But they keep rolling out figures that no, their cost is about 300% more. So where is that happening? We just don't understand it, honestly. And until you bring the facts to the table, then nobody can actually, help you there. So as far as I'm concerned, the issue is more of they are under pressure. The airline industry is under pressure, and it's not only in Nigeria. They're under pressure all over the world. It's a very low, high capital investment business, but yeah, the margins are low. So you have to, if you don't manage your food well, if you don't manage your food costs, if you don't manage your timing, if you don't manage your schedules well, and you don't maximize your occupancy, you may not make money. But those are things they should actually look at, not just hold on insurance, and just keep banging. And that's the one that if you can just do that, that's it. That's the one that's the highest cost for us. You hear things like that, but I just know that you just have to realize that in running transport business, it's true that the expense that you get on a daily basis, even on the bus, is your fuel, right?
Yeah.
And you can have fuel, and every time you do that, maybe your insurance. But you also realize that the capex itself is also an issue, or buying the aircraft in itself, or leasing it, or whatever it is that you do. So you can't argue with the guys who are leasing this is their price, take it or leave it. If you want to buy an aircraft, this is the price, take it or leave it. Then you now come back and say, but this insurance, maybe I can do without it, or maybe I can do it in a different way. No, you must do it properly, and you must make sure that the people that they're using must be fully engaged locally. That's our law, and it's a good reason for that.
Okay, now moving on. I need you to really explain some of the issues, well, coming from the aviation industry. Um, all the rounds of recapitalization in the insurance sector have been hinged on this issue of capacity. Don't have capacity. This is 2022. The issue of capacity vis-a-vis the operations of the insurance industry, or the ability to carry adequate risk that are emerging from our shores, is still in the front burner. So my question therefore is there really an end to the issue of capacity when it comes to this market?
Okay, I remember when we did an analysis for the market, and I think this was led by a meeting of my company, Skip Nigeria and Co Limited, and Insurance Brokers of Nigeria. And the research was done as to what the capacity, maybe in oil and gas, for example, of the American market was. And we're finding figures between $300 to $500 million for the whole of the American market. Because we have now started defining the capacity not as your treaty, but the retentions, the net retentions that people carry. But what you will find out is that the insurance companies in America were ceding a lot of those things, or a lot of their business, to Europe, to Lloyd's, to other companies in the commercial market in London and that. And the ones in Japan were also doing the same thing. Such that when you had the Japanese earthquake and all the damage that happened, you see insurers and reinsurers all over the world, counting their losses. When you had the explosion in the Gulf of Mexico, and the Transocean rig explosion and all the spillage that happened, you see insurance companies right across the ocean also screaming that, oh God, they got hit and they paid heavy losses. So you have that. That's how insurance works. It's spread of risk, and the spread of risk is not supposed to be bound by immigration, or not be bound by geographical locations or things like that, or because say this is your own political drawing. That's not how a principle of spread of risk is. And the further the better. So you have it as such that even when you're doing local content, you have to be very careful, because when you have a big explosion, then the entire market here could explode, and everybody else in the world will be looking at you and laughing, because you thought you could keep all everything. So if you in this business, if you keep all the premiums, guess what? You have to keep all the claims. And guess what? When something really then happens, then your balance sheet will be blown out of the water. So in America, what many of the companies do is that you don't use amass capital just to be using that to be risking on significant NPL risks, where you have high NPL risks. If you use your capital for that, then when one of those things go, your capital is all gone. So what you do is you take that business, you spread it out. But the problem we have, which is different from what the insurance companies abroad have, or in America and maybe in UK and the rest have, is that they also get business coming in as well. So because the insurance company has ceded to Europe, everything they ceded, they may get even more back, such that their numbers are not depleted. In terms of their net numbers are not depleted, because they have ceded out, and those people have also ceded to them, and therefore they have a balance. For us, we have the need to cede out because of to balance, to be able to spread our risk, but we don't get that much coming in.
Why is that, sir?
Essentially, it's because of rating. If your insurance company has not been rated internationally, it cannot attract international business.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we now bring you highlights from the 6th Business Today conference that was held recently at the Radisson Blu Hotel, Ikeja. The event was well attended by stakeholders in the insurance and pension industry. Happy viewing.
annual Business Today conference is a platform that brings stakeholders from the pension and insurance industry together to deliberate and find solutions to issues that affect their operations. The sixth edition with the theme Prioritizing Excellent Customer Services in Insurance and Pension Businesses was recently held at the Radisson Blu Hotel, Ikeja. Guest speaker was Dr. Biodun Adedipe. Welcoming participants to the conference, the editor-in-chief and chief executive officer of Business Today, Mrs. Nkechi Naiche Esezobo, said that the annual conference is part of their contributions to the development of the pension and insurance sectors.
The Business Today conference, which you already know is in the sixth edition, is one of those avenues the company is contributing its quarter to the growth and development of the two critical sectors, which is insurance and pension. Today, a rapidly changing environment, mostly due to the impact of pandemic, has completely turned around the definition of customer service. The industry is expected to shift gears by prioritizing quality customer service for the growth of pension and insurance industries. As the world changes, the way we work changes too. As your company grows, customer support inquiry grows along with it. Customers need to know that accessing their retirement benefit will not be an issue when they retire. Even as policyholder, we appreciate quick and prompt response to claim lodgements. Hence, we have assembled experienced human capital to do justice to the theme of today's conference.
In her brief remarks, the special guest of honor, Mrs. Joyce Ojemudia, MD CEO, African Alliance Insurance PLC, said that the reason any company is a business is the customers.
It is so fragile that a poorly handled claim, a slight error, like my sister Nkechi was talking about her experience in getting back to people, can actually bring about bad brand image. And in insurance and pension, we've been trying to put our image in place in terms of creating awareness and market penetration. So this topic is going to actually do a lot of justice when we finish here and go with the mindset of how we can service our customer better. It will aid penetration. Furthermore, prioritizing customer experience is not just about reducing the risk of customer service mishap. It is indeed a way for the company in competitive market like ours to distinguish their brands. I've always said it. Once you have good customer service and value creation, you can be separated. I'll just quote a renowned customer service expert in sharp ranking that says that finding a way to make customers feel it's all about them. Here in our country, or generally in marketing, we say that customers are always king. So in this dispensation, we need to build a repeated business and even customer loyalty around our customers and make them the king always, because we're in business because of them. Without them, we will not be in business. I say that oftentimes to myself and to my team when it comes to customer experience, because without them, we cannot even earn salaries. It's what we generate from our customer that makes the business.
Delivering the theme paper, the guest speaker, Dr. Adedipe, noted that if there are no customers, there will be no income.
What I call the accounting reality of the importance of customers goes simply this way. When you take the financial statement of a company, let me come from the old way of looking at it to the current perspective. Balance sheet, we call it statement of financial position now. Then we have P&L account, profit and loss account, we call it now income statement. Right. So if there are no customers bringing business to you, the best any company can achieve is a loss. And I will explain, that's my account interpretation of the importance of the customer. This is the way it goes. If there are no customers, there will be no income. So in which case, the profit motive is defeated ab initio without the customer. So question then is, what can we do to ensure that we win customers and keep them? And then whatever we do for customers, we do in a cost-effective manner. If I had the summary of business, you want to succeed in business, 3 things you must do on an ongoing basis. Number 1 is to get customers. We call it win customers. Number 2, you must also keep the customers. And it is very simple. It is more expensive to win a customer than to keep an existing customer. In fact, surveys conducted brought it out at a ratio of 1:5. That means if it costs me 1 naira to keep an existing customer, it will probably cost me 5 times that to win a new customer. Just think about it. Look at it as a customer in your company. How many times did you go to the office? How many places did you encounter that particular prospect before eventually you convince them to do business with you?
As expected, the conference provided yet another opportunity for stakeholders to discuss critical issues on pension and insurance.
That's our time on the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Join us again, same time, same station next week for a fresh package. In the meantime, feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. Don't forget to join us on our flagship Pidgin English radio program, Waiting Insurance They Do Safe, on Nigeria FM 102.7 every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. My name is Lucy Lugbe. Until next time, from the entire team, it is goodbye.